Thank you, Lord Mayor. Lord Mayor, I wish to move the amendment standing in my name. Can I hasten to add that this is not an amendment in any way that is anti-police. Indeed, I have known every Chief Constable since Sir Derek Capper when I was elected in 1968. And just by the Leader of the Council, one of the seats against the wall was dedicated for the Chief Constable. We have been well served with many excellent Chief Constables. The last three, Sir Paul Scott Lee, Chris Sims and Sir Dave Thompson, excellent officers. There's one omission, and that is Chris Sims. He was due to receive a knighthood, but he spoke truth to power and he was denied that. But an excellent Chief Constable. And the difference was they all came here and addressed the City Council. Communication is important, Lord Mayor. Communication between the police and ourselves. It does no good for the police, the West Midlands Police, to have a City Council that is in financial straits. It hampers their work, but we have to communicate with them. Third week in May, Councillor Green and I became aware that there was a local problem that was building up a head of steam. Potentially, it could have been some unrest within the community. We tried to contact the police. Both Colin and I phoned up, local Sheldon police team, no answer phone, no answer. Turns out that within the Ardley-Sheldon area, 3 of the 4 sergeants were on holiday. Takes some planning, that. In desperation, I tried to contact the Chief Superintendent at Stetchford. Sent him an email. No reply. That was the 20th of May. In desperation, I sent an email to the Chief Constable. However, it seems that I'm not on his approved list, as very few councillors in this chamber would be on the approved list, and my email was rejected, as yours would be. I then contacted the Chief Executive, the Managing Director, in desperation, to confirm who was in charge. And she confirmed the name of the Superintendent that I had emailed. And that was on the 20th of May, and I've still not had a reply. As it was, Councillor Green and I managed to sort out the problem despite the fact that 50 people turned up at our advice bureau because they were so incensed about a particular problem. But I managed to sort the problem out without the help of the police and calm the situation down. But it highlighted a real problem that we've got, and that is the lack of communication. If I can't communicate with the Chief Constable, and I have with the 3 Chief Constables that I mentioned, Paul Scott Lee, Chris Sims and Dave Thompson, I could communicate with them. But if there's no two-way communication between the police and a councillor, we're left high and dry. And Councillor Mahmood found out to his expense at his advice bureau a few weeks ago. We need the support of the police to ensure that there is peace on our streets and prosperity within our city. But if we don't get that communication between the two, we, as councillors, are left high and dry. And it does no good to the police because we are their eyes and ears on the street. We pick up information from local residents and often are able to feed it back to the police to stop problems happening. I am very concerned, Lord Mayor, when we have a situation where I, as a city councillor, can't communicate with the chief officer of another organisation, which is integral to the smooth running of Birmingham City Council. Now, it wouldn't cost him, the Chief Constable, anything at all, because he's got staff who monitor his emails and they can direct it. And the same at Stetchford. I know because I've communicated with them before. They have staff that monitor their emails. We need to make sure, Lord Mayor, that we have communication that is relevant between the police and ourselves. I know that I pressed the leader of the council over the previous 151 officer and to take action. And I know that the council were in contact with the Chief Constable because there was a case of malfeasance. And the Chief Constable refused to investigate. And that was relating to the budget that was passed on the 28th of February 2 years ago. I knew that there was a £40 million gap in the budget, but it had been signed off as a correct budget. But that has led us, directly and indirectly, to the position that we're in today as far as the finances are concerned. That was the tip of the iceberg, and it remains a situation that is unsatisfactory to everybody. Lord Mayor, I am not anti-police. Certainly there have been 2 reports when I was Deputy Leader and the Home Office investigated and commended the actions that I'd taken to support the police. Please support this amendment today. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Tilsley. I'll call upon Councillor